Hello everybody. Today's video is going to be just a quick and easy one using just 2 pigments and with resin. Just showing you the canvas that I'm using, and I've got a piece of cardboard which I have taped so I can easily pull it out. So what you've got to do is jam it in there, because you don't really want it on the sides too much, but you want it in the middle, and it will pop down the sides. But then when you turn it over, you don't want to have any of that cardboard poking out here, because that'll mess up your painting. So but that's it, that's nice and flat now, so it's not going to create too much movement for me. So I won't be putting the wedges in, because this is keeping it nice and straight and flat, and I want a little bit of movement if need be. So I'll be back after I've mixed the resin and got some paints ready. Okay, here we go. So I've got 90 milliliters of resin ready, and I've got only 2 colors. One is Artisu liquid tinter, sea blue, and the other one is the epoxy pigment, snow white. So we're going to create a few different shades here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 and just mix that and see what it produces. It's quite light, so that's going to be very transparent. And with these, let me just put the other pair of gloves on, easier to manage. These other gloves, the blue ones, are hypoallergenic, so I have them against my skin, but they're too big and bulky and I can't get a smaller size. Also, they're more expensive, so if I can preserve them and use them a couple of times, that's a bonus. So these ones fit good, and I can get rid of them as I go. So alright, so that was 3 drops there. It's quite light. And then we're going to have another one which we're going to make a little bit darker. 2, 3, 4, 5 drops, and 1 more because there was more resin in this one, in this cup. So you start stirring it and it looks quite nice and pale, and then it turns into a deeper color. Then compare the 2 of them, and this is just a shade darker, and I'm going to add another couple of drops in there to make it even darker than that. Ooh. And now compare the 2. I don't know if you can see that. You can probably see it better than me. Just a slight, well, couple of shades, 2-3 shades lighter. So I'm just looking now. What I'm going to do is just going to drop one of these just down here, just to see. Yeah, that's quite light. And then this one next to it, it's a little bit darker. I'm going to make this one even darker. So how many drops did I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 drops in there. Now let's see. See, when you start stirring, it goes blue and then it changes. Ooh, that is deeper. Much deeper. So here we go, compared to that one. Actually, that's lighter, and then that one. And this one, is this the darkest one? Yes. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to pour straight over. I'm going to make like a beachy scene, and I always go a little bit sideways, but you don't have to. Alright, let me not go sideways. I just go straight. And I like this to flow over. So see, if it does, it does. If it doesn't, see, you can see those strings right there. Just gives it a little bit of character. And I'll flip that over there. Doesn't look like it wants to flow over. I have leveled the canvas quite well, but it depends on the canvas itself sometimes. So I don't have to pull it over the edges just yet. I just want to assemble these, the colors first. So this is a great one for the beginners. As you can see, you don't need too many colors, and quite easy to do. So we're going to make like a water scene, waterscape. Okay, so that was that one. Now we're going to go with a slightly lighter one. As you can see, maybe go through here a little bit just to break that, and you can see it. If I pull a line like that, it'll make it better. It's going to go lighter and lighter and lighter, and you can add white to it, but these tinters, or you can use inks, they work well as well. So you can see the difference. Get rid of all of that. You can even use the cup to move the paints. Once you've see how easy that is, just use the cup. It does the job. Oops. Straight over there and pull it down. Does the job beautifully. I use anything I can get my hands on, but this was already in my hand, so I use it. Okay, now we're going to have the lightest one. Straight over, because that's closer to us, so that's obviously going to be much lighter. And once again, I'm just going to use this cup to pull this paint across. It's actually not paint, it's a epoxy, it's a tinter, but you can use paint, you can use inks. So you can see how that's sort of all looking nice and gradual now. You got a bit of a gradual blending happening here, and I'm just helping it a little bit with this cup. You can tilt if you want. I like to control things and paint rather than just pour and tilt. So I use my hands or whatever I've got on me that I can use to blend and mix these colors. So there you have it, that's that. Just going to go around the edges now and smooth them. Then I'm going to introduce it to a torch. Pop the bubbles, you can see all the bubbles in there. And I can see something in here which I don't know what that is. Oh, okay, that's a bit of resin. Interesting. Okay, so it's dripping on the sides now, which is great. So now I can just do that, pick up some of this pigment from the bottom and just pull it down. Good thing is to tape the bottom of the frame so that you don't get any of the drips sticking, and they're really hard to take off. But I'll be scraping this, and because I've I forgot to tape them. Too eager to do some painting. Okay, that's done. Now I'm going to turn it around this way. And allow this side to drip a little bit because it seems to be pulling to this side. Try not to have too much wastage. Even if you have some resin left in your cups, always good idea to have something else little that you can pour on, like a mold that you can fill in, a jewelry mold, or even a little coaster. I've even poured resin over a CD, you know, old CDs, DVDs. Nobody uses them anymore. So waste not, want not. So be prepared. It's good to be organized and prepared. Okay, so that is that. We're going to let that do its thing. I'm just going to turn it around this way again because it's easier for me to work that way. And I can see something over here which I don't know what it is. Pull that out straight away. Straight out. My cup has moved. So now I need to pop some more of these. Okay, so now I'm noticing something in here, and that's these little dark dots, and that has something to do with the actual tinter. Okay, so luckily there's not too many of them, so I can pull them out, but I will be very unhappy if there was more than this in there, because see, they're pretty difficult to drag out of there. So next time I will give it a good shake and see if it does it again, because see, that's not okay, so maybe a good shake would fix it, but see, I'm having trouble getting rid of it. So be careful. Not much I can do now, but carry on. Okay, so we've got some more resin left in here, and that's going to be for our white, which we're not going to use a lot of. And see how that's all changed because I moved it? I don't mind that, because every now and then you find things and you just pull them out. This is definitely not tinter, this is the resin, because if you don't pull it out, when it cures and sets and dries, you'll get an imperfection in there. So I want to get it perfect, because once I get my white on there, I want to leave it alone. I don't want to touch it anymore once my white is there, because I won't be able to tilt it. I'm trying to create an effect, so I don't want to tilt it once I get my white there and mess up the effect. So that's why I'm just doing this now. So so you can always scrape up some extra resin to fix up the edges, especially when you're working on just bare canvas like me. I haven't painted over it or anything, so I'm just pouring straight over the canvas as is. And this is just what I'm doing, pulling this pigment over just to give it a little bit of shape or something. Beautiful. Fix that bit. Alrighty. Sides, edges, very important. And it's such a tiny little piece, that, you know, it's quite easy to do very quickly. So when you're starting, always start with a small little piece. Get used to it, and then you can tackle bigger pieces, you know. It's always a good thing to do that. Just adding some more of this. Just gives it a little bit of depth, you know, just there. Another little torch. I've got a few types of torches. Some are smaller, some are bigger. They each have a purpose and a job. I also have these little push pins or any other little tool that you can find to help you pull out any dust particles that fall in there, or hair or something. And that, I don't know what it is, it's not coming out. Okay, here we go, white. Actually, for a little bit of clear here, just want to go across with a bit of this clear. You can help it a little bit with the, how much have I got there? Okay, so that'll be my white. And here it is. Okay, heat gun. Get rid of this glove, it's too sticky. Let's get the heat gun going. Low speed first. And then I'm going to put it on higher speed and just pull it through. With some more of that white. Now I might just go another way. Like that. And I might even go a little bit up here. Push it down and just go up here like so, straight down. That's looking really cool there. Heat gun again. Low speed just to pop the bubbles first. And then a higher speed to create the effect. Then you stop and you look. It's going to pull back and it's going to create these little cells. And if it doesn't, you can go again. We'll give it some time. Okay, so that hasn't. And I'm going to go on low speed now and go really close. Just to expose that white. Okay, so I like that at the moment. It looks like a bit of a splash here and it just looks really cool. Just have to fix some of these bits here. And I will do that with just adding some more of this lovely, actually pick them up off the bottom here. It's just that sometimes these edges of the canvases are not the best, you know. They pop and then you have to work really hard to cover them. Unless you're using a whole lot of resin and then it goes straight over, no problem. but I don't like wasting things. So I'm just going around the edges now, and that feels quite hot. See, that's creating things there. Don't want to touch it at all. Just looks good. Looks interesting, has depth. So I just want to go around and fix the edges so that they look nice and tidy, and make sure that these ones here are also covered. Like so. See if I can scrape up a little bit more of this white and maybe add a little bit over here. Where's my, oh, here it is. So I'm just letting it drip. There we go. Okay, heat gun. Try not to mess this up. Alrighty, that's cool. See how I made that a little bit bold? So I'm just going to fix that just by adding a little bit of this clear with a bit of that white. And there you have it. So what I'm going to do now is just going to go around and fix any spots that need fixing. So this is all I'm going to do. Just add things until it starts to set a little bit, and then I won't need to do anything anymore. It'll just stay as is. There you have it. So I'll let that set a little bit, and then I'm going to bring it down so that you can see exactly the depth and how it all looks. Look, here even looks like it's got a bit of a shadow underneath that wave, so it looks great. So I hope you liked the video and found it informative and interesting, something that you might want to do. So if you like it, if you think you might like some personal tutoring, do contact me through my website, and I do online tutoring. I also do tutoring in my studio, but if you're living in another country, then thank God for the technology so we can do it online. Okay, so thank you very much for all your support up until now, and hopefully this will come in handy for someone out there. Bye for now. Okay guys, here it is. Just flipped the other way around now. It has moved a little bit, and these colors are not coming through as they're supposed to, as they are coming through as a bit of a blue. There is a little bit of blue there, but it's more of an aqua kind of color. So there's very subtle little bit of white there that creates a really nice splash like in the water. So there you have it. How easy was that? It was easy, quick. It's still setting. I just had to fix the edges, just go around and fix the edges.